when I think back to the WWF in 1999, I think about a time when financially the company was at its peak and they were doing nothing wrong. But then they ended up doing storyline after storyline that was good, but the matches ended up being shit. So, tagline for this was "No chance in hell." Austin had no chance in hell of winning the Rumble, and for a while it looked like he was. You know, it looked like the deck was stacked against him. $100,000 bounty on Austin's head, but let's figure out why this Rumble wasn't all that good. So, the Heat matches, you had Christian defeat Jeff Hardy. This was a dark match, so I didn't get to see it. I did watch the Sunday Night Heat before the Rumble on the network, though, and the Job Squad defeated Too Much, and Mankind defeated Mabel by DQ. It was a great Sunday Night Heat, too, because it really, opened up a lot of storylines for the WWF and really kind of pushed the Rumble. I liked it. I thought it was actually really, really good. And it was a great way to kind of set it up. The Rumble intro kind of showed Shane and Vince against Austin. And then you had the Big Boss Man against the Road Dogg. It was interesting. Road Dogg was the hardcore champion. Big Boss Man was one half of the tag champs. I'd have thought the hardcore champion would have been on the line, but it wasn't. Big Boss Man defeats the Road Dogg, but doesn't win the hardcore title because reasons. Because it wasn't a championship match. 11:52 was the total match time. I give this match 1 1/4 stars. It was Road Dogg and Big Boss Man. I mean, Road Dogg was over, but it was what it was. Next, you had the Intercontinental Championship, Ken Shamrock against Billy Gunn. Ken Shamrock ended up winning this match. This also gets a star, but it gets a star in three quarters. I like the kind of story that was behind it, where it showed that Billy Gunn had actually mooned Ken Shamrock's sister, and it caused a lot of issues in that aspect. And that was really cool to see. Match time was 14 minutes, 24 seconds. I felt like the match kind of drug on a little bit longer than what it needed to, though. And I feel like that kind of hurt the match. McMahon and the Stooges had a segment. European Championship X-Pac defeated Gangrel in 5 minutes and 53 seconds. This gets 2 stars from me. This was a good match. It was short, got to the point. X-Pac retained the title, and I thought it was pretty good. Kevin Kelly interviewed DX. Then you got the Women's Championship match. Sable defeated Luna in a strap match. This gets a quarter. Only reason it's not a dud is it kind of it told a good story. Sable trying to work the back and saying how her back was hurting and everything. But hey, Big Boss Man had a segment in the Mankind versus The Rock video package and a Doc Hendricks Rock interview. Then we get to the WWF Championship match. Mankind defending his championship against The Rock in an I Quit match. I don't know how many times I've seen this match, but every time I see those chair shots to the back of Mankind's head, I just, it's one thing to see it every once in a while, like to see a chair shot to the head, but he took like 11 or 12 of them back to back, and it almost looked like he was dead. Like, this had me worried. Even my girlfriend came in and was like, "Is he okay?" I was like, yeah, he's fine. But it ended up, The Rock and Mankind put on an absolute quality, almost 5-star quality match. I did give it a 4.5-star match. This was an absolute phenomenal match. If you can get past that spot, which kind of added to the brutality of the match, and it kind of made it a lot better. Because Mankind, in a way, actually did not quit. Because on Sunday Night Heat, Mankind, Shane McMahon kind of goaded Mankind and said, "I'm going to make you say I quit." And Mankind said, "It'll be The Rock that'll be screaming, I quit, I quit, I quit." And he kind of piped it in or whatever and replayed it over the PA speakers during the event when he had the mic shoved down there, and it made it seem like he said it. But you know, their storyline goes back to Survivor Series '98 when The Rock became the corporate champion, and then they would actually wrestle the following week at halftime heat during the halftime of Super Bowl 33, in which Mankind would win. Then they would wrestle at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and then The Rock would win a ladder match the following night on Raw after St. Valentine's Day Massacre, would go on to face Austin for the title. And yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that I think really added to the brutality of the match, was the chair shots to the head. I mean, it was just bad to see. I mean, and the fact that Mankind's wife and kids were in the front row was just something that was bad. But I enjoyed the match nevertheless. Next, we get to the 30-man Royal Rumble match. This Rumble was interesting to me, to say the least. Because going in, Austin looked like the heavy favorite. He really, really did. And it was amazing to me that Austin ended up not even winning. Was he going to win 3 in a row? Was the big, big story going into it. Austin ended up not winning 3 in a row. He ended up coming right behind Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon last eliminated Stone Cold Steve Austin and ended up winning the Rumble. But it was all along Vince and Stone Cold. Vince was telling the story. Whoever eliminated Stone Cold gets a $100,000 bounty and gets that money, whatever. It was interesting to me because it kind of showed, hey, he really doesn't like Austin. Austin would get attacked by the corporation late in the match, would come back, and McMahon wouldn't even really be in the ring, and they were kind of doing an ending sequence where The Rock distracted Austin and McMahon tossed Austin out. They would end up competing at St. Valentine's Day Massacre for McMahon's spot, and Austin would end up winning and would go on to beat The Rock at WrestleMania 15 for the WWF title. But, you know, obviously, you know, this was Owen Hart's last Rumble, and it made history because Chyna became the first woman ever to be in a Royal Rumble match at number 30. But it's weird to see that you had Golga, who was Earthquake, Test, Owen Hart, Mabel, Chyna. That's about 5 participants out of that 30, and that's in a 20-year span that are no longer with us. So that's a sixth of the Rumble that's no longer with us. Owen, of course, will be the first one to pass later on that year. Like I said, 1999 was just wild, you know. And to be honest, it actually kind of sucked, you know, pay-per-view wise. It really did suck, you know. It did great business and it was great financially, but really did suck. Overall, I'll give this show 5. It was pretty bad. But, hey, it is what it is. So we'll get into the next episode and see how things go later.